All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is PastorDowell. Myself and Sister Carol, we're on our way back to America from Canada. And the other day, I made a video and asked the question, why is everything a lie? Well, you know, it's kind of an oxymoron, because the truth is, everything is not a lie. It's just that it depends on what system you're functioning under. And I don't mean to add to the confusion that is already, well, we have already been so-called allegedly, quote-unquote, here we go again, and this is even an oxymoron, educated in. Let me explain. We went to a public food system, and in that public food system, they taught us how to function inside the states, function inside the government of America, allegedly, the judicial branch, the legislative branch, and the executive branch of governments, which most people in America still don't even comprehend, understand that whatsoever at all. The reason why that everything, both politically and religiously, and that's the reason why people get so irritated and so passionately upset about a lot of things, is because when you have been reared and raised, and I'm going to slow down here for a second for comprehension and understanding. Listen to me very closely. Listen very closely. Listen. When you have been raised in a system that has the illusion, did you hear what I said? The illusion of truth, the illusion that it is functioning properly. The people who are considered mad, or the people who are considered crazy, are the people who actually do their own independent study and research outside of their training. For instance, you know, you hear me over and over again talk about the United States of America being a corporation, and it is. Anytime those politicians up there in office operating, doing their thing, they're operating with two hats. You got the constitutional states, and then you have the corporate states. And each one of those representatives up there represent one or the other. For instance, California Republic, or the Kentucky Commonwealth. All right. So when you hear those senators, governors bickering and fighting and carrying on with each other and stuff, when they're up there in front of that TV camera, grandstanding and stage playing and stuff, they're representing a corporate entity called the state of California and not California Republic. Does that make any sense? All right. Or like Mitch McConnell, you know, he's operating in front of everybody as a senator for the corporate state of Kentucky, or the state of Kentucky, rather than Kentucky Commonwealth. All right, now when you go over to the religious part, why are people so upset religiously? Well, it's pretty simple. All right, check it out. When you are brought up in this country, you also have another corporation that is deceiving and duping the people. And that corporation has a name. And the name of that corporation is Christianity. And Christianity, just like our kangaroo government, has its own set of laws, while it is so-called using the law. Now, in some form or some way or some fashion, it doesn't forbid you for exercising your lawful right. Notice I didn't say legal, because there's a difference between being legal and lawful, just like there's a difference between being moral and immoral. All right? So you've got a corporate entity called Christianity, and that corporate entity is tied up in the 501c3. And they have a religion that they teach. Now, the illusion is that just like, you know, the people in the sovereign movement, they hold up the Constitution. And they talk about the Constitution of the United States of America. Constitution. And everybody's out here running their mouth about the Constitution. Constitution. My constitutional rights. But hold on. When you have been duped and deceived into functioning as a statutory citizen, you're not making any sense. A statutory citizen, anytime you contract with the government, you waive constitutional rights. And you function under the entity of the statutory system. Back over to religion. When we went to all these little churches that got these little steeples on it and everything, and these pagan crosses and everything, and they tell us that's what it means, we haven't done our own due diligence or our investigation to find out what's true or not. We just accepted it, just like when we went to public food. Nobody told us the truth. They told us the way that the statutory system or the illegal system, or I ain't gonna say illegal because the corporate system, all right, because we've accepted it and nobody's challenging it, and if they do, they find themselves running up against a brick wall, and then they find themselves running up against a Goliath that they don't comprehend and understand because they don't know the law, natural law, constitutional law, inalienable right law. They don't understand that. So you have to know how to navigate in both systems. And the Christians, they mad and upset at me because I know the gig. I know the game. Just like Christianity is not lawful according to the Torah, but in their mindset, under their corporate entity, they are legal. Are y'all making sense? Am I making sense? Am I making sense? Because, you see, their laws is, for instance, the 3 tenets of Christianity: Christmas, Easter, and Sunday. All right? Is that not true? Tell me it's not true. All right? The problem is when you go and read the Bible, which is the law, you won't find no instructions on any of those things in there, yet and still the corporation 501c3 of Christianity has been duping people for so long that when somebody like me, come up talking about keeping the commandments, ain't that what Jesus said in John 14:15? If you love me, keep my commandments. I look like I'm someone that's got a problem because your minds have been conditioned to function and you've been trained to think a certain way. So when I start talking lawful, the first thing you start saying is we ain't under that law. And of course, when you say that, I realize that you are telling me the truth. When you say you're not under that law, I believe me, you have no arguments with me. You are not under the laws of Yah. You're not. And I agree with you 100%. You are under the statutory Christian religion, 501c3, government instituted, sanctioned, approved, and ran. You're under their laws, their legal system, legal. See, to be in the Torah, you're lawful, but to be in this system is being legal. And this system, of course, which is tied to government, because I'm sorry, there's no such thing as separation of church and state. But anyway, because this system is tied to government, that's why they can say that homosexuals and you churches, you cannot argue, you cannot resist, you cannot fight, because you have already contracted with us through 501c3. So they have a right to preach, they have a right to play the organ, they have a right to play the piano, they have a right to sing in the choir, they have a right to be a deacon or an elder in those churches, because those churches are ran by the corporate entity called 501c3. It's under statutory jurisdiction. So all these people out there telling me, oh, ain't no big deal, I don't know, you're just ignorant. You're ignorant of the law, because in this world, we are taught to be legal and not lawful. Anyway, so I hope you notice the difference between, and this is the reason why people, 2 things I don't never talk about. That is religion and politics. And one reason why you don't talk about neither one of them, because you're dumb as hell. Why are people destroyed? Because of lack of knowledge. Anyway, you got a good education here this morning, and that's the truth, and that's the true straight way. Hallelujah. May make some more videos. We'll see. Y'all have a wonderful day. Sorry to rain on your parade. Only a few of you gonna hear this and wake up out of sleep anyway. We'll see.